So last weekend I went and heard Billy Joe Shaver. Anybody know of him? He was playing at a little roadhouse, Hunter, Texas, which is outside New Braunfels. And Billy Joe Shaver is sort of considered an outlaw country musician because he didn't go the way of the commercial country music stations and the commercial country music artists. And Willie Nelson is also considered an outlaw country musician. And I was thinking about Huff, and I thought, you know, Huff is an outlaw poet. Because he didn't go the way of academia or the way of, you know, I don't know who makes money at poetry, but he went the way of his heart, and his heart was attracted to the places in between, the borders, the neither here nor there, the liminal places. And I'm attracted also to those places. And I don't know if it's on my shirt, but on my dress. I've been doing a lot of activism with Sierra Club fighting against the border wall, the proposed border wall, which is planned to be built in Santa Ana Wildlife Refuge in South Texas, the first stretch of it. So I don't know if y'all have ever been there, but it's a beautiful place. And so on my mind was the idea of borders, and I found there are so many poems. Huff wrote so many poems. I mean, there's a lot to choose from. But tonight I'm going to read these. Okay, so places people go for what they need. I need light. Bright lights and Saturday night laughter in the 123 bar in San Juan, Puerto Rico. The stars in the Caribbean brighter than anywhere. Maria and Carmen and the others moving through the GIs lounging at the bar in their loose, baggy skivvies. The stars in the Caribbean brighter than anywhere almost. Except perhaps crossing the Rio Grande into Nuevo Laredo, the immaculate distance between whores and their customers. However close they grow physically, finally, Sister, the little prostitute in Ponce, wouldn't undress for me, so I left without touching her, and walked the 2 miles back to the plaza through the dark Ponce slums, drunk, my feelings hurt, not understanding the immaculate, immutable distance between whores and their customers. Any more than I understood the immaculate closeness of Mary the Mother and Mary the Magdalene, men lonely and away from home, turning in their need since time began to the interim mother for instant rebirthing. And there is truth in that turning, as there is truth in the 123 bar on Saturday night after payday, beneath the clear Caribbean stars, clearer than almost except Mexico crossing the Rio Grande into Nuevo Laredo. There was a beautiful woman in Boys Town with eyes like Dolores Del Rio who had her children's pictures on a table by the bed, and I wanted to say, bless me, Mother or Mary, either one, or Christ or somebody, because I was very lonely, but feared she would burst out laughing and that her laughter would explode against the beauty of her eyes and fling me somewhere I did not want to go. So I stayed silent as men have stayed silent since time began, measuring their loneliness against the immaculate distance of the two Marys, a distance greater than the distance to the clear stars above the 123 bar on a Saturday night after payday in San Juan, Puerto Rico, 1,000 miles from home. Mm-hmm.
And you know what? There is a French site called Outlaw Poetry that has a lot of Huff Stickler on it. Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to read one that I wrote about a different border region, but as a border region, and then I'm going to read another one of Huff's. Leaving Big Bend State Park. Thin-fingered Ocotillo, thick shoots of sotol arrow skyward, Day, time between rains, shadow, all lengthen. I have lived in this place, been pricked by its sharp hairs, housed them, tipped them in my blood. I have worked, peed in the quiet company of deer, fallen in love. Somewhere between 9 Point Draw and Dagger Mountain, a long red snake flashes. I aim my tires, hope to straddle its swift body, sicken to see the obscene tube of jerking flesh recede. Drive on, slack with the clumsiness of my passage. And another half poem. A really good one. Well, they're all really good. Shelter. Tres Piedras in the rain. Tiny town at the top of the world in northern New Mexico. Crouched at the counter in the lone diner, backpack in corner, smoking, nursing my coffee, not wanting to go out to that flat gray that seemed endless, and the steady fall, bite of the air. Soul down and cautious, I cupped the room's warmth to me, sipped light with my coffee, all the while laying traps for my courage. Along the borders of my mind, a man without a home is a different animal. I stayed till the last drop in my cup had vanished, till the cup became a mirror that I cared not to scan, till there was no choice but to go. Then shouldered my pack, and then, not looking back, walked out to meet the infinite gray and the wet fall. Stand by the road, thumb out, pilgrim, supplicant, bum in the rain, who chooses to leave what he has, must take what he gets. Yeah.